Japan, Poland, Malaysia. You'd think these places are way richer than India, right? Well, here's a twist. Millions of Indians are now living richer lives than the average citizen in those countries. Yep, the land of jugaad and chai breaks is producing earners who can outspend your average Tokyo salaryman. Per capita income is climbing, and it's flipping some old economic assumptions right on their heads. So buckle up, because the list of countries we're about to roll through will make you double-check the global leaderboard. But before we dive in, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. I subscribe, and I'll personally welcome you into the family. With that said, let's get started. Segment 1. Context check. Why this juice is worth squeezing. India loves big numbers, big population, big cricket stadiums, big wedding guest lists, and now big GDP. By nominal GDP, India has muscled its way to the fourth largest economy in the world. Impressive, right? Well, hold the fireworks, because when you divide that giant GDP by its massive population, things look less glamorous. The average Indian clocks in at around $2,700, $2,900 per year in income. That's enough to put India somewhere near the 140th spot globally for per capita wealth. Yep, on the personal wealth scoreboard, we're still playing in the lower leagues. But here's the twist. The gap between India's richest and everyone else isn't just wide. It's a full-blown canyon. The top 1% isn't just rich, they're crazy rich. And it's in that exclusive club where the magic happens. Because those top earners are no longer just keeping up with the rest of the world. They're overtaking some of the wealthiest nations' averages without breaking a sweat. This is where the story gets spicy. Segment 2. The India Rich List. Who Indians are out-earning. Let's start with a jaw-dropper. Japan. For decades, Japan's been a symbol of economic might, tech dominance, and bullet train efficiency. Yet the average Indian in the top 8% is bringing home around $88,000 in purchasing power parity, PPP. The average Japanese worker, around $53,000 PPP. That means the elite slice of India isn't just catching up. They've lapped the average Tokyo commuter and still have money for sushi. Then you've got the middle-income heavyweights, Malaysia, $13,000, Chile, $17,000, Poland, $23,000, and Romania, $17,500. On paper, these countries boast stronger per capita numbers than India as a whole, but the richest Indians, they leave those figures in the dust. For them, these aren't aspirational economies. They're spending benchmarks they've already blown past. And don't forget the near neighbors, Sri Lanka and the Maldives. Sri Lanka, even with its recent economic turbulence, historically enjoyed a per capita income higher than India's average. The Maldives, with its $13,000 plus per person income, sounds like a paradise. Until you realize that India's top earners could spend 2 weeks there, come home, and still have more left over than the average Maldivian makes in a year. This is the new reality. While India's average income still trails much of the developed world, its top earners are quietly rewriting the rankings. And that's going to have ripple effects on global markets, luxury industries, and even migration trends. Sri Lanka and Maldives. Sri Lanka might be in the headlines for economic turmoil today, but let's not forget, it has historically had a per capita income that made India's numbers look humble. Yet now, India's wealthiest have surged past not only the averages there but the lifestyles too. Forget comparing shopping carts. India's top tier could probably buy the supermarket. Then there's the Maldives. It sells itself as a playground for the global elite, with $13,000 plus per person in average income. But for India's richest, that's vacation pocket change. These are the folks who can drop by the Maldives for a week, rent the overwater villa, sip the imported champagne, and still fly home without even denting their quarterly budget. Pakistan, $7,000 PPP, and Bangladesh, $3,000 nominal. Here's where it gets interesting. India's national average is still around $2,700 to $2,900. But the upper middle and top earners, they're cruising far above Pakistan's average $7,000 PPP and Bangladesh's $3,000 nominal income. It's the kind of quiet financial dominance you don't always see in the headlines, but it's shifting the economic bragging rights in South Asia. And if you think that's just about numbers, ask anyone competing for luxury real estate in Dubai right now. Kenya and much of Africa. Across Kenya and large swaths of Africa, nominal per capita incomes hover under $2,000. That means elite Indians are playing in a completely different league. And they're not just richer on paper, they're visible in markets, investment portfolios, and tourism spending. When a group of friends from Mumbai lands in Nairobi, the spending power gap is so obvious you can almost hear the currency exchange clink. Segment 3. Why this comparison fires us up. Wealth is all about perspective. India's giant GDP makes for great headlines, but when you break it down to what actually lands in your wallet, the real story emerges. That's why per person income isn't just a boring stat, it's the real scoreboard. And when you zoom in on India's top earners, the view changes from developing nation to elite global player. Add to that the power of the Indian diaspora. In 2023, remittances hit an eye-popping $125 billion, the highest in the world. That's not just money. It's fuel for real estate booms, startup investments, and household upgrades across the country. Every dollar sent home amplifies prosperity, pushing families up the economic ladder. The takeaway? Growth by itself is just a number on a spreadsheet. But when prosperity starts to reach individuals, when inequality is addressed, and more wallets feel heavier, India gains a different kind of strength. One that's measured not in GDP charts, but in lifestyles transformed, opportunities created, and the unmistakable feeling that the economic tide is actually lifting boats at home. So here we are. India may still be chasing the big leagues in overall averages, but for its top earners, the game's already changed. They're not just competing with the world's wealthiest. They're overtaking the averages of countries once considered untouchable. It's proof that economic narratives aren't carved in stone. They are rewritten by those who dare to sprint ahead. And if that momentum spreads beyond the elite, well, the global wealth map might need a serious redraw. With that said, thanks for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. And until next time.